Health. How can I help you today?
I'm sorry. I was having a problem there with my phone. I'm sorry. This is Josh.
Yeah, my name is Josh. I'm a supervisor up at New York State of Health.
Yeah. Hey, Josh. So I just wanted to make sure that my profile is being escalated, and I just wanted to go over with the supervisor, kind of like what's been going on with my account.
Okay.
So I guess my first question is can you tell if my profile has been escalated?
Well, I can see that the documents were received. We have an eligibility and enrollment department that needs to take and take a look at those documents. Typically, that takes between 7 to 10 business days to get done. So at this time, I can let you know that they are in there. So I do see the upload was complete.
Okay, because before the supervisor today, the last person I talked to on the 30th had told me that my profile had been escalated. So it sounds from your end, and you're a supervisor, you're saying that you can't tell if it's escalated, but...
So I can see the notes from the 30th. It looks like there were some previous documents. There's something else that was uploaded today that I'm seeing now.
Yeah, because, I mean, what I wanted to review with you was, if you can see, back in October, I had sent 18 pay stub verifications. And then and then after that, I was told by one of the people who I talked to on the phone, one of the agents, I guess you want to call them, that that I was being redetermined again, and that I had until that they need to get the payroll stubs to the 28th of November. And so on the 28th of November, you can see that I've put in about 11 payroll stubs. Then when I don't know what exactly prompted to call, I can go through my notes, but then when I uploaded that stuff, and I believe I called and I had talked to someone about, okay, is this what you now need? I was told that I needed to send them more information.
Okay.
And that they didn't have anything in their notes about how I was supposed to send stuff, by the 28th of payroll stubs. So I'm like, okay, well, this is confusing me. And I said, I don't know how you guys go about evaluating people, but this has been happening several times throughout the year for me. And I don't really have one consistent job where, like, these are the set hours that you work. I don't have that. The one job that I did have that kind of had that, which is this 127 rooftop job, they haven't terminated me, but they've basically have said that, we don't have any work for you right now. And so I had told the person at the marketplace that I'm probably going to have to be claiming unemployment because I'm not going to have this job. And I've been trying to avoid unemployment because I just try to hustle. That's what I do. There apparently isn't anything that in the marketplace that, signifies people that are hustling for a job as opposed to people that have a set job. So your marketplace person, suggested to me, hey, if you can get me that any type of unemployment insurance information as soon as possible, we don't even need to look at the rest of your pay stubs. That's what she told me. So if she recorded that conversation, then I would like and hope to think you as a supervisor would want to know that this is what your subordinate workers, this is how they're talking to people. So what I did is I knew that there was going to be a problem when she said that to me. And I told her, I was like, look, I don't want to throw everything off track. And she said, well, but you could get whatever it is. I don't know what it is for younger people, Medicaid or Medicare. Medicaid, right?
Medicaid, yeah.
I said, look, I am already on the essential plan. And I had said to her, I was like, you know how crazy this is? I go from being on Medicaid to then being on the essential plan. And then you guys are telling me that I only qualify for paying like a minimum of like $250 a month. And so then I have to send in pay stubs to say that, you know, I can't afford the $250 a month. And so I'm still on the essential plan. But then you guys turn around and say, oh, but you can get Medicaid. And I'm like, can I just stay on the essential plan? I don't want to keep on trying to change doctors, change venues. I'm dealing with 2 different health issues right now. I'm dealing with a herniated disc in my back, and I'm dealing with, I have some type of either my gallbladder, I have some gallstones, and right now I don't know if I'm going through an inflamed gallbladder or an appendicitis or what the heck, but I got problems going on the whole right side of my body. And I'm like, if we do this, if I'm sending you this unemployment insurance information and now you're going to be putting me into Medicaid, you're really going to be throwing stuff off for me. Can we escalate this? And she says, yes. So, I send the information that I had at my disposal, and I knew full well probably what you guys would be needing is some type of the monetary determination. But this was not what was functioning in her brain at the time. So I told her, I was like, look, I have this thing that has a confirmation on it, and I upload it. I said, I want you to stay on the phone with me. She stayed on the phone with me. I mean, I will give her this credit that I was on the phone with her for probably over an hour. Okay, so you have employees that you're working with that are on, with, one person on the phone over an hour. So, she's like, yep, this is good. This is great. So I'm like, great. So I uploaded that on the 28th. So then I get a letter on the 29th saying that I need to send more pay stub information. So then I'm talking to the person on the phone. I said, hey, I sent this thing the other day and I was told that this was okay. And so the gentleman I was talking to, he says, we need something signed. And I'm like, what do you need something signed? And you can go to your own recordings to validate this. He says, something with a signature. We need something with a signature. And I'm like, a signature from who? A signature from me? A signature from New York State? Like who? And he's like, oh, let me put you on a 2 to 3 minute hold. So he puts me on a 2 to 3 minute hold. And so then he comes back. He's like, I just need something that... He didn't know what he needed. So I'm like, look, I will take more screenshots of what it is in front of me on my computer. But I really need all of this stuff escalated. I've been dealing with you guys for... over a year now, in which I keep on getting thrown off. I keep on getting told, you need this, and then I give that, and then I'm told a new narrative, a new storyline. And so now I have uploaded the unemployment insurance monetary benefit page that says that it was mailed out on the 29th. Okay? So, and it has my income information in there. It has a weekly benefit that they said that they're, going to give me. But your last supervisor that I talked to, her language was essentially, well, I didn't send the correct information last time. And what she's not getting and what she's not understanding is that every time I send the information that you guys asked for. So to put it on me that I'm not sending the right stuff, that is the wrong language that is being used here. The thing is that what she should be saying is, this is the course of action that we are now being told that we need from you. Because she's putting it on me like I'm the one who's screwing up. And so I've told her, I said, look, from this point forward, I'm just going to record every single marketplace person that I talk to. And then what I'm going to do is I want to be able to send the links to my attorney general and say, look, this is what you put people through. You have people that are trying to do the right thing. They are mandated by the government that they have health insurance. And so I am someone who has had health insurance, And I keep on getting dropped off of health insurance. I'm being told I have to send different things. And now today I'm going to go to an emergency room. And so that burden is going to be put on someone else, even though I have spent the last couple months since October trying to give you guys everything that you want to validate why I am put in what classification of health insurance. And there seems to be nothing on your guys' end to how to deal with people who have fluctuating incomes, people who are hustling for a dollar, the people who are the most susceptible and the weakest links in our American economy, but are trying to be the strongest linked. So, it's very, very frustrating to me. So I'm going to go into an emergency room today. And I'm going to say, yeah, I got this problem going on in the right side of my body. I don't have health insurance right now. They're going to roll their eyes at me like I'm not doing my job. I might not get the best care because it's going to look like I'm not being a responsible person. But according to when I go on the website, I have been more than responsible. And it's been on your guys' end that people don't know how to put us into brackets. We're confusing to them, and then they give us confusing information, and then they want to wipe their hands of it. I want someone to feel responsible for me.
I understand, Daniel. So I can tell you this much. I mean, a lot of what probably happens is automated. Unfortunately, it's if you're saying that like a job changes, your income changes, you're being and asking for proof. It's probably what the situation is. So what I see is the monetary benefit determination that you uploaded earlier today. From all of my experience, that's the correct form. But it looks like prior to that, you're right. It was screenshots and things like that. So it was an existing escalation. Usually it's not something that would qualify for an escalation, but because you had one that was valid prior to this, and all you did was just upload what we already asked you for, I'll go ahead and send it back over to that team. So is directly responsible for the left hand talking to the right. The best I can do is just send an escalation to them and say, hey, look, he uploaded something. Can we take a look at it? So, if they were in the building, I'd walk over and have a conversation with them myself because I understand it's frustrating, and I do see these situations now and again, and I get that you're trying to be responsible and give us what you're being asked for. So I have empathy for that. I understand that health insurance is like the most important thing in someone's life. I like I said, I deal with it day in and day out. So it's not the only example of somebody trying to do the right thing that's getting tripped up by the system. So I want to make sure that this gets made right. I do see a document in here that, to my understanding, would be valid, but that's not my determination to make. So what I want to do is get that in those folks' hands so they can take a look at it ASAP. I don't have any way to guarantee what your eligibility will be. That's the only thing. That's the only caveat to this. That I don't know whether they're going to tell you, yeah, it's essential plan or yeah, it's Medicaid, and there's no real way for me to know that for sure until we get some type of verification on the document. So that's the first step.
But Josh, but Josh, I mean, I don't know if you have weekly meetings with your team of people that you work with, or you have daily meetings. But I would love if you would use someone like me as a perfect example. This is someone who is being told what to turn in, and they turn what they turn in. And your especially your supervisor. This is the reason why I asked to leave the supervisor before to talk to you, is because there should just be key terms that you guys are all trained to know and to use. So one would be the very simple term of unemployment insurance monetary determination. So if someone looks up at their screen and they need more information in regards to unemployment, what should be voiced to the person at the other end of the phone, being someone like me, is, sir, what we need from unemployment is the monetary benefit determination. Piece of paper. We need a screenshot of that. Because when someone's like, oh, well, we just need something from unemployment, that is not making it easier for anyone involved. It just
it should have been in black and white terms for you. It's something that the verbiage is something that should have been read to you. So I will apologize for that. But it looks to me like the letter that you uploaded today is what would typically be found acceptable, or acceptable rather. So, again, like I said, I get the frustration. I understand that you've had a couple of different, conversations that evidently you were told something that was different from the last, and that can be extremely frustrating.
Well, and my last point is, and I'll let you go on this, but I'm just trying to get it through to you that people on your end are not doing their jobs, and they're getting paid, however, salary or weekly or hourly. But I have on my phone that I have called the 866 number, and I talked to someone over an hour on the phone. And I actually talked to 3 people that day because I was passed around to different people. The last supervisor I talked to, she has no record of that. Now that is on my phone. It is, and I'm with AT&T, so it's also with AT&T records, so I can validate myself and my truth. But something is not happening on your guys' end where people are dotting their I's and crossing their T's. So that's how someone like me ends up in a prolonged situation that if people were doing their job correctly, probably could have been handled, much differently. And it wasn't until that gal told me, why don't you send me unemployment information, that everything was thrown. Because until then, I was just told I had to show to keep in the essential plan. But the minute that it came up that I was going to be losing one of my jobs, then she was like, oh, well, you could be now in Medicaid. I was like, well, I would just like to stay with my essential plan because at least I know who my doctors are now. And all of my appointments that I have set up, I have already had to cancel appointments because of this. And so, like I said, I'm most likely going to go to the emergency room now because the pain on my side is too much. But it wasn't this bad a couple weeks ago. And I did line up an ultrasound.
I understand where you're coming from, Daniel.
Yeah.
Again, I apologize. I know that this is not something. It's not like calling for service on your cell phone or something like that. Those things are obviously not as serious. So I understand why you're frustrated. I would be frustrated in your position as well.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Josh, and I hope this finds its way in the hands of the right people.
Yeah, like I said, once we get off of the phone, I'll go ahead and send an escalation over to those folks so that they can take a look at it. I would like to make a guarantee on the time and date that they take a look at it, but I mean, usually they're pretty good about once we get the escalation over to them, we get a turnaround pretty quickly. So whether I can give you a timestamp on that as far as like a guarantee, that's going to be tough because I'm not them, but usually they're good about listening when we set something up.
Well, and if you do check out the voice records, to me, one of your people said by December 7th. So that didn't happen.
Okay, yeah.
And so I guess my last question for you is when I go over to the emergency room and I tell them that I have no insurance, what happens?
So that's probably going to depend on the termination that you get. I mean, most likely what we would do is we would get you in touch with like our account review folks just so that they can take a look at the case that you had and see if we can maybe get the back date on this because of the fact that you were trying to, in good faith, get the documentation over to us. So if it came back and it stated that you were covered from, say, like the 9th forward and you had a medical bill from the 7th, that doesn't necessarily mean that you would be up the creek needing to pay that. That just means that we would have to review that as it comes. Now, if it was Medicaid, that's another story because that would backdate to the beginning of the month, so effectively you wouldn't really have a gap in coverage. Essential plan might be a bit different, but like I said, we have an avenue that we can take that I wouldn't necessarily count on you being in a spot where you have to eat the cost of that. You're trying to continue coverage that you already had, so this would be a valid reason to put you in touch with the account review unit and see if they can help you out with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would seem very weird to end up on Medicaid and then you got like a $10,000 doctor bill.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. It would be maybe another story if you weren't trying to get coverage, and then in which case, I mean, even our applications even give you the ability to apply for coverage on bills predating your coverage. in this type of an instance, I can see you had enrollment up through, looks like the end of the month, and then, we had outstanding documentation. So, not my determination to make, but I wouldn't necessarily lose sleep over the idea that you'd have a medical bill that you wouldn't have any help with, because it doesn't look like that situation to me. So we'll cross that bridge if and when we need to come to it, but for now, I mean, a lot of it, I can't make a recommendation to you, but if you need to go to the emergency room, that's totally within your power to do, and then we can visit the insurance side of things on the back end. You know what I mean? It's not worth running into a scenario where you're waiting on us to call you back because of it.
Well, that's what this.
Medical emergency,
Well, that's how it has been, but yeah, I realize I can't wait anymore for to wait 2 months for people to try and figure out what's going on with me on your guys' end. It's taken too long. But I guess my last thing I'll say, so I can get you off the phone and you can go, God, I can't believe I took that phone call. Is
it's fine. I understand it. I would be making the same phone call in your position, so don't stress about your head. That's the last thing I want you to worry about.
Well, the last thing that I would just ask for is if everything is being predetermined by something that is automated, it'd be really great if there was a department where there were actually people that looked at people who were having extenuating circumstances with their health care. So it wasn't something where the automated system was, throwing things off for this person, because from my perception and the way that I have read it is I have felt as if there's a problem with your automated side, because people are having problems determining me, and it should be easier.
Yeah, I understand, and that's the most applicable department is our account review department. Those would be the folks that, like I said, if we get a determination and it says, hey, congratulations, you're covered from the 9th forward, and you're like, well, I needed bills paid on the 7th, what can we do about it? That would be a situation where we put you in touch with those folks, and they can judge some type of a determination on, hey, this is what you were judged at as far as eligibility, we'd like to appeal it, is there anything we can do, and they make the final call on those situations. So that does add like a human element to the, hey, this was automated, what can we do to kind of fix it? It's not something that our frontline teams can really, play with, but it's something that those folks can do. So, like I said, it could just come back and say, hey, congratulations, you've been covered the whole time now that we got the documentation, or it might be another scenario. But one way or another, I understand why it's frustrating, and, my recommendation would be that once we get that determination back for you, you might want to just give a quick call back in and say, hey, listen, I'd like to, if it's not satisfactory to you, just call back and ask if you can appeal the decision, and they'll put you in touch with somebody who's got a little more control over those things.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. I wish you the best of luck.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.